everyone, welcome to this month's episode of Kidneys in the Kitchen. I'm Megan Craig, Director of Programs for the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois, and I am joined, as always, by a beautiful dietitian. You'll probably remember Melanie from several other episodes of this series.
Hi, everyone.
So we are here to talk with you today about how to eat low sugar for the holidays without sacrificing too much in terms
flavor.
of taste. Yeah.
And enjoyment.
So tell everyone a bit about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. For those of you that haven't seen me on previous episodes of Kidneys in the Kitchen, my name is Melanie Betz, and I am a registered dietitian at the University of Chicago in the section of nephrology, and I work with patients that have kidney disease.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk a little bit about staying low sugar. We know that diabetes is an issue for a lot of kidney patients, so it's something we're always trying to balance with the kidney diet and the lower sugar diet. So I don't want people to feel like they can't enjoy the holidays.
Of course not. Of course not. We all have those family recipes of our favorite cookies or pies or whatever it is, and you definitely should enjoy some of those things in moderation, of course, and we can talk a little bit about what that actually means, that in moderation.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So I have just some examples of what appropriate portion sizes are of some of those full sugar things, because of course, like I said, we can enjoy some of the cookies that you're used to having or pie or ice cream or whatever, but that sugar adds up very, very quickly, and so do the calories. And so allowing yourself to have a little bit of the cookie that you're really looking forward to can help you fit that cookie in sort of a healthy lifestyle.
All right, awesome.
So this is ice cream. We can put this here, my hand here for comparison. So this is a half cup of ice cream. This is technically how much we should eat when we enjoy something like this. So whether it's ice cream or sorbet or sherbet or something like that. So just trying to keep your portions small when you do have that.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
The other thing might be cake. A lot of times there's cake around. This is about a 2-inch square. You can see my hand. 2-inch square piece of cake. Which is perhaps a little bit smaller than we're used to having.
Yeah, that doesn't look like as much cake as I like to eat at a time.
Right. So enjoying this slowly, taking your time, and allowing this can be satisfying.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Another tip that can work for a lot of people is really planning ahead for what you're going to have for dessert. A lot of times at holiday parties, there's a huge spread of all these things that look so delicious, and it's so easy to stand right there and grab a piece of this and grab a piece of this and go back and just kind of hang out by the dessert table.
That's what I always do.
Right. Right. Which can be okay. However, you likely will end up eating less if you sort of plan your attack of that dessert table.
Sure.
And this is true of any buffet for that matter. Really trying to scan the situation, identify 2 or 3 things that you really want to enjoy, and to have for your dessert at this particular party. Grab a plate, put those things on your plate, and walk away. And that can really help you control how much sugar you actually end up eating.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, sort of set a time limit for yourself for what to choose and when, and then
just walk away, go socialize with your family and friends.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. So now I have just a couple ideas of things that you might make for the holidays that you could incorporate into some new family traditions that are lower sugar options than some of our traditional desserts.
Perfect.
The first thing that I thought might be kind of fun is doing a poached pear. Pears are in season in the winter, and so it's a really great fruit to utilize in holiday desserts that will be delicious at this time of year. So, have you ever made poached pears before, Megan?
I've never made poached pears, but I've had them.
Okay.
And
what did you think?
I think they're delicious.
Okay.
I do love pears and apples, any kind of, you know, those basic fruits.
Yes.
And the thing I loved the most about the poached pears that I had was that they were covered in like cinnamon and nutmeg.
Oh, yes.
And that just gives it that holiday, that really, you know, whenever I smell nutmeg and cinnamon together, I think, okay, it's the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really good point. Incorporating some of those baking spices like nutmeg or cinnamon or allspice into your dish can really help you cut back on the amount of sugar that you need to use in that dish. So that's a great trick. Sort of how we use garlic and oregano to cut down on salt, you can use those spices to cut down on sugar.
Awesome.
yeah. So if you have some poached pears, we can pretend that these are poached pears.
Okay.
You could have a whole half a pear there, and you can make it look really fancy by maybe, just like you mentioned, sprinkling some cinnamon on there.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to zoom in a little so we can see
Some cinnamon.
Oh, yeah. That
And
looks
then
really good.
you could even put a little dollop of some Cool Whip. Yep. And, of course, to add a little bit of green and freshness, just a little garnish of mint.
all right.
How does that look?
Oh, that looks so holiday-rific.
Yeah. Yes.
Not a word, but
Yeah.
definitely how it
It looks great, yes. So you can, that's really just a pear, and you can really dress it up and make it feel like the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, it looks delicious, and it looks like the holidays.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah, excellent.
Especially with the green.
Yeah, yeah. So backing up a little bit, what you actually poach these pears in, I realized I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
That's important
Good point.
to know, yes. You can go online and you can find tons of recipes for poaching pears, and you can actually do the same thing with peaches. Not quite as in season, but you can certainly generally get them in December.
Canned or
Or
something.
canned, yeah, you could do that too. So one of my favorite ways to poach pears is to actually take some sort of sweet wine, so like a Moscato or something like that, and then adding some of those baking spice flavors to it. So I like to put some cinnamon sticks in there, some fresh ginger, chop that up, and maybe just a little bit of honey. You'll find that a lot of recipes online have a lot of simple syrup added or a whole lot of honey or other sugar ingredients that you really don't need. There's enough sweetness in the fruit itself, and certainly if you use a fresh wine or a sweet wine like Moscato, that will add a lot of sweetness as well.
Okay, awesome. And if we are talking about using, maybe going the slightly easier route and going with canned pears or peaches or jarred of some sort, those are usually in a syrup, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. So my advice is generally to look at the can and try to find a product that is in either light syrup or juice. So if you look at this particular can, you can see that these pears are in juice from concentrate. So that means that this is not heavy syrup. That's really what we want to avoid, because that heavy syrup is full of extra sugar.
Okay.
So look for light syrup or juice and avoid drinking the juice. Just eat the fruit itself.
Sure, that makes sense, especially for liquid purposes
Yes,
as well. Of course,
absolutely.
that would
Right. Yes, good point.
That would be a part as well. And with the wine, does it matter what kind of? Obviously, Moscato would be great because it's sweet and it would add to the sort of dessert quality
Yes,
of the poached
absolutely.
pears.
Yes.
But is any particular kind of wine better or worse as far as sugar or kidney patient or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you're using wine to poach something like this, the amount of sugar that's actually getting transferred into the fruit is really minor. I wouldn't worry too much about it. If we're talking about actually drinking a glass of wine, I would recommend probably a drier wine, because that does have significantly less sugar than the Moscato.
Okay.
That being said, you can also poach pears in red wine. It's, of course, going to be less sweet. It's going to make them look red, which is very holiday-y.
Oh, very holiday.
Yes.
I kind of wish we'd thought of it.
Yes. So if you enjoy the flavor of red wine, that's another way that you could make this recipe.
Awesome. All right.
All right. Another idea that I have for incorporating some low sugar desserts is doing a yogurt parfait. And this can look, you can use whatever fruits you want. So we have our glass here. Our
That
glass.
out of the way. All right. Awesome.
This glass happens to have a nice gold rim, which looks very festive. And here I have just some plain yogurt.
Okay.
So I would recommend using plain yogurt in general, just because any of the sweetened yogurt, even the plain or the vanilla yogurt, has so much extra sugar in it. So really trying to use the plain. And my favorite trick is adding a little bit of honey to it. So you can drizzle just a touch. It doesn't need to be a lot, like literally just that much. And that is a whole lot less sugar than would be in the yogurt if I bought vanilla yogurt.
Gonna show just a little.
Yeah.
See if you can see how much honey is in there. Yeah, it's just
just
not
a little
a
bit.
ton.
Just
so
a little bit. And then you can just start layering your favorite fruits.
Oh.
So here we have some blueberries.
And those cold weather fruits, which obviously will be great
Yes.
for the holidays,
Right.
also tend to be the lower sugar, correct?
I suppose,
Like
yeah.
not mangoes, not
Yeah, that's true. Mhm.
melons,
Yep.
things like
yes.
that.
Yep, things like the pears, persimmons, cranberries would look beautiful in here.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
So then we could just keep on going. Add a little bit more yogurt. You could even add a little bit more honey.
I love how it's the layers. I mean, it looks beautiful all
Yes.
like on its own.
Yes. And here I have some easy canned peaches.
In juice,
Are
I assume.
available in juice, obviously, which you can get all year round. Add some more. And then you obviously need something for the top to make this look especially appetizing.
Sure.
So I have here some granola, and granola can add a lot of extra sugar, so I recommend using just a little bit. And also, when you're at your grocery store, looking at your granola and trying to find, looking at this total sugars line, and just trying to find one that's the lowest that your store has. There's not really a cutoff here that is too high or too low, but just trying to find the best option that you have at your grocery store.
Sure. And I mean, that does look like it's kind of a lot of added sugar. So
right.
granola generally is going to have...
Generally, yes, unless
Okay.
you make it yourself, and that takes a lot of time. So I just like to use a little bit of the real stuff.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm just gonna put maybe a teaspoon on top of here.
For a little crunch.
Exactly, a little extra color, and of course, garnish with mint, because
Garnish
that's
with
my
mint for the
favorite thing to
holiday.
do. There
All
you go.
And we're going to give you a quick overhead. Oh, yeah. That does not look bad at all.
No.
All right.
All right.
Well, any other advice for people looking
Yeah.
to go low sugar? I may, as soon as we're done here, I may take the whipped topping and just
Yes. Yes.
use that as my dessert. But before we go, I do want to remind everyone that we have some great stuff on our website. So I'm going to take you there. Our diet and nutrition section, which you'll find under patients and families on our website, will offer you lots of information. You can order our great cookbook for dialysis patients that is free to dialysis patients, the Everyday Eating Cookbook. You can get that by going on our website, which is nkfi.org. That's NKFI, like National Kidney Foundation Illinois.org, or by calling us at 312-321-1500. So, Melanie, thank you so much for being
Thanks for
here
having
with
me
us
again,
again.
Megan.
We really appreciate it. Everyone enjoy your holidays, and we will see you in the new year.
Happy New Year.
Bye.